Ready? We will.
Open the door now! Open it! Now! Open it! When we're talking about being attacked, we really don't know what the attacker is thinking at any given point. The only two things that we have control of is our situational awareness and how we respond due to our training if we are to be attacked. So now let's jump back to the beginning of the scenario. We're going to talk about the herd mentality and the way I like to teach when it comes to observation skills. When we go to a place such as a kids park, what you're going to typically find are multiple different types of herds. If you look out in a field of horses or fields of cows, every now and then they'll all be bunched up, and many times they'll be in different herds. You may have a larger herd here, a smaller herd, and then we may have the castaways that are just roaming by themselves. Here at the park, what we have are parents sitting on the benches, watching their children play, maybe reading a book or talking on the phone, something of that nature. The next herd, children that are actually engaging and playing. Another herd that you saw here was a construction workers. Under the given circumstances, all of these herds make sense for this environment. So what I'm doing is a primary observation and a secondary observation. I'm kind of assessing the environment, trying to determine what makes sense under these given circumstances. So if I see an individual, male or female, off by themselves, are they sitting in the grass? Are they looking up in the trees, watching the squirrels? What are they doing? Are they relaxing? Are they watching children? Have they cued in on one particular child? So these are the things that I'm looking for in the secondary observation skills. And I'm trying to further identify, is this person or persons an actual threat? If you do feel someone is actually telling you, don't be afraid to change direction, stop, or take a seat at a bench. Typically what you're going to find is that individual, if they're telling you, will bypass you and they'll stop further on down in the park, which is a good indicator that they're actually waiting on you. I was actually putting quite a bit of force into the door. You'll see a lot of people demonstrate doing this, okay? If I create any type of space here and jam it, it actually can rip the tendons and break the toes, okay? This is not a good position we want to be in. We want to plant the foot, and all I'm doing is I'm pushing at an angle, okay? And this creates a wedge. Something else that this foot wedge will allow you to do is to free up your hands. As you can see, Brittany was able to get to her gun, one-handed, two-handed, it doesn't really matter. We need to train both, and she was able to shoot me through the door. This is a big topic. Can you shoot through doors? Well, under this given circumstance, absolutely. And I'm not going to tell you to do it. You need to check with your state laws, but here in Texas, she would be completely protected under the state laws. One of the things that I did notice in the video, Brittany did position herself like this, and I did have about 6 to 8 inches here. Even though she was protected here with the foot wedge, I could have very easily reached in, grabbed her wrist, and as small as she is, did a wrist lock or something like that and controlled the whole situation. So on a door that opens this way, I would want to be over here, okay? There's no way they can get their hands in here. Realistically, even if I carried a knife and they put their hands in here, the hands are going to get whittled away. Oftentimes when we're training, there's a lot of realistic training that has to be left out for safety reasons. As you can see, the little one is very little. She could be hurt very easily. So Brittany reaches down with two hands and picks her up to protect her, just how we naturally pick up a kid. And then she goes for the door. Okay, that's a waste of a lot of time. If I'm strong enough, I reach down, grab the kid by the shirt, by the hair, by the arm, by the shoulder, while I'm opening the door, throw them him in if I need to, whatever the case needs to be. I need to have myself in between the child and this threat. Here's what I tell people. This broken arm, this plug of hair, these bruises, these cuts that may happen under these given circumstances are far less of an issue than if this person gets to me and my child. Another option is, what if I don't have, or Brittany doesn't have time to actually get inside this door? A fleeing mindset, we're really not thinking about fighting, but as a person who practices self-defense, we are thinking about fleeing, we're thinking about fighting, we're thinking about all this at once as we're assessing this given situation. There's absolutely no way majority of the people in the world, by the time they turn around and see me coming at them, are going to be able to perform all this, get inside, and even get a foot wedge in, more or less get the door locked. So what do? We are forced to just say, okay, my kid's here, I get into the fight, I either control the situation or I incapacitate the threat. They haven't trained, you are not going to respond that way. You're absolutely going to freeze. Your sympathetic responses are going to take over. Your body is chemically just going to go haywire, and you're just going to freeze up, okay? So regardless if you have a gun on you, and regardless of how you think you're going to respond, if you are not training on a regular basis, and it doesn't have to be every single day, you're living in a false sense of reality of how things are going to go.